Welcome to Tech and Trek, where we explore the past, powered by the future. What's something people don't know about Moses' 12 sacred springs? The story of Moses is one of the most famous in the world. One of the most enduring parts of the Moses story involves 12 sacred springs. It is said that Moses, by the power of God, brought forth these springs from a stone. Water is essential for life and plays an important role in many religions. In the Bible, water symbolizes purification and new life, as seen in the story of Noah and the flood. Water also symbolizes baptism in Christianity, a ritual cleansing for a new start. In Islam, water is used for ritual purification before prayer, known as wudu. Water sustains us physically and spiritually, shared by all people, regardless of beliefs. It highlights how vital water is for all people. The book of Exodus tells the story of the Israelites' escape from slavery in Egypt. Led by Moses, they journeyed through the Sinai Desert for 40 years. The desert is a harsh and unforgiving environment. Water is scarce and temperatures can be extreme. The Israelites faced many challenges during their journey. Finding enough water to survive was a constant concern. The Israelites often complained to Moses about their thirst. They longed for the water and food they had left behind in Egypt. In their desperation, they sometimes turned against Moses and God. They doubted God's promise to lead them to a land flowing with milk and honey. The miraculous provision of water through Moses served as a reminder of God's power and faithfulness. One of the most famous stories of Moses providing water is the miracle at Rephidim. The Israelites had been traveling for several days without water. They were exhausted and thirsty. They came to Moses and demanded water. Moses cried out to God for help. God instructed Moses to take his staff and strike a certain rock at Horeb. Moses struck the rock as God commanded, and water gushed forth. This miracle became a symbol of God's provision and faithfulness. It showed the Israelites that God would provide for them, even in the most difficult of circumstances. After leaving Rephidim, the Israelites journeyed to a place called Elim. Exodus 15:27 describes Elim as an oasis with 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees. The Israelites rested there, enjoying the abundance of water and shade. The 12 springs of Elim could be seen as representing the 12 tribes of Israel. Elim serves as a powerful contrast to the harsh realities of the desert. It offers a glimpse of the promised land, a land flowing with milk and honey. The abundance of water and the presence of palm trees symbolized life and prosperity. For the Israelites, Elim was a tangible reminder of God's promise and their ultimate destination. In Jewish tradition, the story of Moses and the 12 springs holds deep significance. The springs represent not only physical sustenance, but also spiritual nourishment. Rabbinic commentaries link the 12 springs to the 12 tribes of Israel. The springs are connected to the concept of hidden miracles, or nistarot in Hebrew. The search for the actual location of the springs continues to fascinate Jewish scholars and archaeologists. Christian interpretations of the 12 springs build upon Jewish tradition. They see the story of Moses as a prefigurement of Jesus Christ, the ultimate source of living water. The 12 springs are sometimes interpreted as representing the 12 apostles of Jesus. The story of the springs resonates with the Christian emphasis on baptism. The springs at Elim foreshadow the heavenly Jerusalem described in the book of Revelation. While the story of Moses and the 12 springs is not explicitly mentioned in the Quran, it is deeply embedded in Islamic tradition. Moses, known as Musa in Arabic, is considered one of the most important prophets in Islam. The Quran emphasizes the importance of water as a sign of God's creation and mercy. The story of Moses striking the rock and bringing forth water is a powerful reminder of God's power and compassion. The springs symbolize the rewards that await those who persevere in their devotion to God. The search for physical evidence of Moses' 12 sacred springs has captivated explorers, archaeologists, and religious scholars for centuries. Pinpointing the exact locations described in the biblical narrative proves to be an elusive endeavor. The passage of time and the harsh desert environment have taken their toll on any potential physical remnants of the springs. Despite these obstacles, the search continues, driven by a thirst for knowledge and a desire to connect tangible evidence with the biblical narrative. Some researchers focus on analyzing geological formations, hoping to find traces of ancient water sources. The search itself becomes a metaphor for the human desire to connect with the past. The biblical narrative provides some clues to the possible locations of Rephidim and Elim. Rephidim, where Moses struck the rock, is described as being in the vicinity of Mount Horeb. Elim, with its 12 springs and 70 palm trees, is described as a welcome oasis after the Israelites' arduous desert journey. Some scholars place it near the Red Sea, suggesting a coastal route for the Israelites. Archaeological surveys in the Sinai have uncovered numerous ancient campsites and water sources. Local Bedouin tribes possess a wealth of oral traditions and stories passed down through generations. The story of Moses and the 12 sacred springs has become intertwined with myths and legends. In Celtic mythology, springs and wells were often associated with healing powers and otherworldly realms. Similarly, ancient Greek mythology is replete with stories of sacred springs and fountains. The motif of a hero striking a rock and bringing forth water for his people is a recurring theme in various cultures. This shared narrative element suggests a common human experience of hardship and reliance on supernatural intervention. Between history and faith, the ongoing search for Moses' 12 sacred springs highlights the complex interplay between history and faith. While physical evidence remains elusive, the story continues to hold profound meaning for people of faith, reminding them of God's provision, guidance, and enduring presence. The springs, whether literal or symbolic, represent a source of hope and sustenance, particularly in times of hardship and uncertainty. For some, the lack of conclusive archaeological evidence might cast doubt on the historical accuracy of the biblical account. Others, however, see the story's power residing in its symbolic and spiritual message, which transcends the limitations of time and space. The search for the springs in this context becomes a metaphor for the human quest for meaning and connection with the divine. The story of Moses and the 12 springs invites us to reflect on our own relationship with faith and the role of miracles in our lives. It challenges us to consider how we perceive divine intervention and to recognize the subtle ways in which God might be working in our lives, even when His presence is not readily apparent. Ultimately, the mystery surrounding Moses' 12 sacred springs serves as a reminder that some truths defy easy categorization or scientific proof. The power of faith lies in its ability to inspire, guide, and offer hope, even in the absence of tangible evidence. The springs, whether rooted in history or legend, continue to quench a different kind of thirst, a spiritual longing for connection, meaning, and the assurance that we are not alone in our journey. Living springs, modern relevance. While the physical location of Moses' 12 sacred springs remains a mystery, their symbolic power resonates deeply in the 21st century. The story's themes of hardship, divine provision, and the importance of water hold particular relevance in a world grappling with climate change, water scarcity, and social inequality. The Israelites' desperate search for water in the desert mirrors the plight of millions today who lack access to clean, safe drinking water. Their story serves as a stark reminder of the fundamental human need for this life-giving resource and the devastating consequences of its scarcity. The springs, in this context, become a symbol of hope for a future where water is accessible to all. Furthermore, the story's emphasis on divine provision challenges us to consider our responsibility towards those in need. Just as God provided for the Israelites in their time of hardship, so too are we called upon to act with compassion and generosity, sharing our resources and advocating for just and equitable access to water for all. The 12 springs also offer a powerful metaphor for the spiritual sustenance that sustains us through life's challenges. Just as the Israelites found refreshment and renewal at these desert oases, so too can we seek out sources of spiritual nourishment, be it through prayer, meditation, community involvement, or acts of kindness, that revitalize our spirits and empower us to face the future with hope. The story of Moses and the 12 springs continues to inspire acts of pilgrimage and devotion in the modern world. People of faith, drawn by the story's spiritual significance and the desire to connect with their heritage, often embark on journeys to sites associated with water and divine intervention. In many cultures, water holds a sacred significance, representing purification, renewal, and connection to the divine. Rivers, springs, wells, and even waterfalls become sites of pilgrimage, drawing individuals and communities seeking healing, forgiveness, or a closer relationship with God. The act of pilgrimage itself, often involving physical hardship and sacrifice, mirrors the Israelites' desert journey. It serves as a reminder of the challenges and triumphs of the spiritual path and the importance of perseverance in the face of adversity. The destination, often a sacred body of water, represents a source of spiritual refreshment and a tangible connection to the divine. For some, pilgrimage to sacred waters offers an opportunity to immerse themselves in the tradition and history of their faith. For others, it provides a space for personal reflection, prayer, and spiritual renewal. Regardless of the individual motivation, these journeys highlight the enduring power of water as a symbol of hope, healing, and divine presence. The symbolism of water extends far beyond specific stories. It permeates religious traditions and cultural narratives, reflecting water as a source of life and spiritual significance. Water is seen as a purifying agent, washing away impurities and sins. Bathing in sacred rivers symbolizes ritual, cleansing, and rebirth. Rain nourishes crops, symbolizing prosperity and growth. The stillness of water invites introspection and contemplation. Water's diverse forms evoke emotions from awe to tranquility. The tale of Moses and his 12 sacred springs, shrouded in the mists of time, continues to entice and intrigue. The desert sands, relentless in their embrace of forgotten civilizations, hold their secrets close. Despite the lack of definitive archaeological evidence, the springs remain a potent symbol, their significance reaching far beyond the literal interpretation of flowing water. The story speaks to a deeper human yearning, a thirst that cannot be quenched by physical water alone. It speaks to our need for faith, hope, and the belief in something greater than ourselves. It reminds us that even in the most desolate and challenging of circumstances, there is always the potential for renewal, for sustenance, for a miraculous wellspring of strength to sustain us. The 12 springs, forever etched in religious texts and woven into cultural narratives, serve as a timeless reminder of the power of belief. They remind us that sometimes the greatest journeys are not measured in miles traversed, but in the depths of faith explored. The search for these elusive springs, both literally and metaphorically, continues to inspire, prompting us to look beyond the tangible and embrace the enduring power of myth, symbol, and the enduring human quest for meaning. The story's message transcends time and culture, whispering to us across millennia. It urges us to seek out our own metaphorical springs, those sources of strength, inspiration, and hope that sustain us through life's inevitable droughts. Whether we find solace in religious faith, community support, artistic expression, or the wonders of the natural world, the quest for these life-giving sources remains a universal human experience. The desert, silent and vast, holds echoes of the past. Whispers of ancient travelers, their footsteps long vanished beneath shifting sands, linger in the windswept dunes. The search for Moses' 12 sacred springs invites us to listen closely, to attune ourselves to the subtle messages embedded in the landscape and etched upon the human heart. The desert, often perceived as a place of emptiness and desolation, can also be a place of profound revelation. Stripped bare of distractions, confronted by the immensity of nature's raw power, we are invited to shed our preconceptions and embrace a different way of seeing. The desert whispers tales of resilience, of adaptation, of the delicate balance between life and the unforgiving environment. The search for the springs, whether it leads to a definitive archaeological discovery or remains an ongoing journey of faith, offers valuable lessons. It teaches us the importance of perseverance, of seeking knowledge, of listening to diverse perspectives. It reminds us that the answers we seek are often found not in grand pronouncements, but in the quiet whispers of intuition, experience, and a willingness to remain open to the mysteries that surround us. As we navigate the complexities of the 21st century, facing our own metaphorical deserts of conflict, environmental degradation, and social injustice, the story of Moses and his 12 springs offers a beacon of hope, It reminds us of the enduring human capacity for resilience, compassion, and the unwavering belief in a brighter future. The springs, forever etched in our collective memory, beckon us to seek out those sources of sustenance, both physical and spiritual, that will sustain us on our journey. Thank you for watching Tech and Trek. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more explorations into the past, powered by the future.